citizens of the universe. I'll bet you're probably going to hear SR's washer, was it? A couple of times throughout the podcast because somebody decided that was a perfect time to do laundry. Yeah, let's get this started when somebody else is doing something.
Yep.
Hello, guys.
Alrighty, I'm the Romance Scrooge, and joining me today are SR Nohbody and special guest Enlightened Robot.
Aloha.
Yep, that's Matata. Yep, we are currently present. How is everybody tonight?
I'm pretty sure Brain Teaser is going to be pretty busy with school and stuff, since that started close to the beginning of September and stuff, so maybe pretty varied as to when she'll come on podcasts. As for Alpaca, I believe she's currently at AWA, a con in Tennessee and stuff. Talked a little bit about that particular con and Enid the Narutard. God, I feel so stupid saying that title. Episode 32 for. Okay.
That particular podcast is actually up on the Bandcamp website that we have, by the way, or at least the Bandcamp album that's on my website. So if anybody's interested, I'm kind of sort of a little slower, making these a little bit slower than we're actually making them. I'm going to have to was the Enid is a Narutard the last one we did, or was there another one after that one?
Oh, there was one after Enid the Narutard. There's only one, and then there's this one. That's it.
Okay. Well, I suppose that's what I'm going to have to be editing this week. I'd be editing these things a lot faster, but hey, school, all that type of stuff.
Hey, no big rush on this stuff, man. I appreciate the fact that you're editing these at all. Seriously.
Thanks. I'm out. Yeah, the Matad. Thanks. I like Matad. Like, it's a pleasure doing this, and this is something I still am trying my best to continue doing. Just like I think this semester might be one of the busiest semesters I've ever actually had. So
I'm guessing it's coming down to the wire about to graduate.
Yeah, I'm graduating this semester.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is my I'm going to be graduating soon. I'm going to be I am an interdisciplinary studies major with a focus on digital media and film theory. And I'm trying to get into television animation, and I currently have a pitch lined up for a certain specific big company, and I hope things go really well with that. That said, I'm not at liberty to really disclose too many things about it, though. I suppose if you guys were to follow my Tumblr or anything, you could keep up. Oh, hey, Media Detective, and hey, PC the Unicorn, hey, Tech Zero, and hey, Peter Salmons. How are you guys doing? Media Detective, I don't think you actually missed too much. We started them not too long ago, actually.
Yep, started just a couple of minutes ago. Just been shooting the breeze about stuff. Shameless plug, going to remind everybody, if you're curious about Enlightened Robot's project, the particular production he may be pitching to unnamed company here, follow him on Tumblr at the same handle he's using here, Enlightened Robot. Or actually, no, it's Purple Skunk Ape, right?
I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm on Purple Skunk Ape on Tumblr. Enlightened Robot has become my editorial blog. So, I'm doing that to separate the things. Purple Skunk Ape is my personal blog, and also the things where I do all of my little personal projects and stuff like that. Plus, you're going to get a massive load of shit posts and reblogs. Never try to start a brand. Never try to start a brand with your personal blog. If you're going to fill your blog up with reblogs and shit posts, it's not a good idea to start a brand there.
Yep.
But yeah, that's but yeah, that is what I'm doing. Um so you want to go ahead and like start talking about watching the video right now and I'm looking at my avatar. It is so full of artifacts. That is such an old avatar too. I'm a little bit surprised it's not the robot that I have currently. It's my castle. That's like a 2012. No, actually, I think it's earlier than 2012 when I drew that.
Man.
And it's so full of artifacts that I would not have noticed there were not for the fact that like I like saved it as a PNG and used it as my avatar. That's on my Google Plus page. Actually, I think that's something I should change like as soon as I can to my robot avatar that I have everywhere else. Anyways, you guys want to talk about the ABCs of Beth?
Talk about pop music. Do-bop. I wanted to.
ABC, you know, 1, 2, 3. ABC, Beth is evil. Trying to figure out a rhyme.
She's not technically evil. She's a psychopath, I think.
She's a sociopath.
She's smart.
Yeah, she is smart.
Smart.
So, like, what did you guys think of that episode? Just before I like start talking, you know, go on like on a long tangent about things.
Oh, I don't have anywhere to really start. Go ahead and take it away since you have somewhere to start. I just don't.
Okay. See, I actually kind of sort of really like the episode, but I also kind of really hate it, if that makes sense. Oh dear God. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure how everybody else is going to react to my astonishingly mixed opinion on this particular episode. Because on one hand, we see Beth develops as a character, as does what's his name? The dad,
Jerry.
Yeah. Jerry and Beth develop as characters, and that's always good. You know, you don't. It's actually kind of interesting because you don't actually see it's actually really interesting because like we're actually seeing a development in like Beth and Rick's relationship with each other, and it kind of ends on a very interesting, ambiguous note. And there's so much good going on this episode, but at the same time with this episode, you have like this very kind of sort of poorly executed children's world, Fruity Land. If there's anything I kind of sort of hate, it's Fruity Land itself, and like that's where the majority of the episode takes place. And I don't know, like Fruity Land kind of seemed a little half-assed when I watched it. The writing of the characters themselves were on point. A lot of the jokes were on point, but Fruity Land, I couldn't really tell what they were going for. Anybody else think that?
Fruity Land came across as what it was supposed to, in my opinion. Rick's attempt at making a fantasy wonderland for his kid. It came across or translated as much as it really needed to for the episode. I don't think it needed anything more extensive than what we really saw. Just cut and paste, generic. Look at the rainbows. Look, it's happy, fluffy. Kids like this stuff. Kind of thing.
It was kind of like what's like a good comparison for this? I mean, it kind of sort of had kind of Teletubbies, kind of Dr. Seuss, kind of just a very I don't know, it felt generic is the thing.
It was supposed to. It was supposed to be generic. The point was to present something.
Yeah, it's supposed. It was Rick creating it in order to distract Beth.
Yes.
From her murderous tendencies in the neighborhood.
Yeah. I got across the point.
Yeah, because Rick admitted that he's cloned a couple of kids in the neighborhood back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's disturbing to think about.
I don't know. I like the concept, and I do see what they were going for, but it's like I mean, Fruity Land. It's like
Forget it,
come on.
robot.
I need to get
Fruity
my
Land.
yeah. I need to get yeah. I need to like get my words together. I suppose I can't really truly put my finger on it, but I guess I didn't like the creature designs, and I didn't like Tommy, but I think I'm not supposed to like Tommy. I think Tommy was supposed to be deliberately unlikable. So I'll give them
You're
that.
not supposed to like anybody there.
Yeah, Tommy is Tommy. I'll give them that. Tommy. They tried to make an unlikable character with Tommy, and they succeeded in making an unlikable character with Tommy. And like they gave him a name that was oddly appropriate for a land like that. You never you never see adult Tommies. You only see kid Tommies in fiction. This is coming from someone who. So I guess that's
yeah. Even Tommy Pickles and All Grown Up tried to rebrand himself as Tom in one episode.
By the way, my name is. By the way, the name that I go by on the internet is Tom Raster. So there's that. But like, yeah, you never see Tommies. I think you never see Timmys either. Maybe it's just a Y at the end. A lot of people just seem to drop it. I've never heard of them. I never hear people people who like keeping the people who have names like Tommy and Timmy who don't change their names, who don't go by like a shorthand when they get older. I suppose I've seen a few more Bobbies here and there. I guess you have like Bobby Brown.
Oh yeah, Bobby's fairly common.
Yeah.
Bubby.
For some reason, that's a bit more acceptable than Tommy or Timmy or.
It's probably like old Hollywood stuff, you know. It's like, what's that, Lassie? Little Timmy fell down the well.
I love how we're.
Well, he can stay down there. This is
the
the 21st time
for this particular episode.
Go ahead and name
specifically how Tommy violated Fruity Land.
Oh yeah, let's just get that out of the way. Spoilers and potential trigger warnings ahead. Tommy has sex with Beth's apparent imaginary friends, and then proceeds to eat the babies. It's like I think as they say in like what was the line that they said? It was a really good line. It was like just a big cycle of cannibalism and incest.
I like how they referred to it as raping Muppets and eating babies. God.
That's like the new. That's like the. That should be like the new. That should be like the new "fuck bitches get money" line. Rape Muppets, eat babies. Actually, that's
God.
terrible. Let's hope that doesn't catch on. But yeah.
Oh my God! Why? Somebody put insert circle life song here. Just why? Oh, God.
Well, I'm
It's probably
Tommy.
Go ahead. Just the whole Tommy situation could probably be a take on how some adults can pervert childlike fantasy worlds in a way. I mean, just look at almost any cartoon fandom nowadays. So yeah, think about that.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I just love how that was your first example, your first go-to. It makes sense if you've explored any fandom, like the deepest, darkest crevices of it. I know what you were going for. It's just kind of funny that's.
Yeah, Okay, so I recently.
I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense after hearing, like, during the play, because like the play that he had his children perform, where it's like, oh no, I'm hungry, I shall now hump this rock. That doesn't like there's a number of years there that like he would have like tried to find food and stuff instead of, you know, puberty happening. Like there's a number of years. So yeah, they kind of like skipped over those years and just went straight to puberty.
Granted, we don't know how old Beth was when she took Tommy to Fruityland. He might have been just starting to enter puberty.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, yeah, being told about Beth's backstory is nice, but I would kind of like to see it. Although
maybe that's
something disturbing that I just realized like a while back with this episode. Do y'all remember the Citadel Tales of the Citadel from the Citadel?
Yep.
Yes.
Do you remember Simple Rick's memory, the one that they keep looping?
Yeah.
Yes.
Of him recording young Beth's birthday party? Yeah. Do you notice any other children there?
Any other children in the Citadel of Rick's or
in the memory of Beth's birthday party?
No, there weren't any. No, you're right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and considering that all Ricks and all Beths and all Jerrys and all Mortys and all Summers are pretty much very, very, very similar, there are just slight deviations in each timeline, it could probably be assumed that even in Simple Rick's dimension, Beth is still pretty much a psychopath.
Oh my gosh, Beth like trapped.
So it's kind of a wonder what Simple Rick did to deal with this. And it's also just sad to see Simple Rick being taken away from Beth.
There's like,
yeah.
I actually wonder what happened to the Beth of Simple Rick's universe. Because like Simple Rick has been like has basically been in a coma for like any number of years now. He's probably. If Beth is still a psychopath in that original universe, who knows what she has done since then? Because now they probably took the only somewhat kind of sort of positive figure in their life, and now she's probably like laying waste to whatever universe that she's in. For all we know, she could have just taken the place of Rick, and is just doing just as bad as things just as bad as what Rick does in that universe.
Yeah, that's another thing that popped in my head after the Tales of the Citadel episode with that memory from Simple Rick, is that what if there are a number of universes where Beth didn't get pregnant because of Jerry, and instead she followed in her because in a previous episode, I think the Whirly Durly conspiracy, Rick admits that one of the reasons why he's so pissed with Jerry is that Jerry stole Beth's future. It's like she's Rick's daughter, Jerry. She could have been anything. And so, what if there are a number of universes where Beth basically became Rick's Morty, and then let's say that there are a couple where Beth is or even more evil than Rick, and then basically pulled an evil Morty on those Ricks. And they just haven't developed the technology for portal guns.
I'm thinking Nicole Waterson in The Amazing World of Gumball from the episode. Was it like The Choices, where the alternate timeline where she doesn't get married to Richard and she winds up
The Choices.
Yeah, she winds up conquering first her karate class, then is her education, and then the world.
And then she gets dethroned.
I need to see this episode.
Oh, it's a really good episode.
You haven't seen The Choices?
Yeah, I think that's actually
yeah, that easily makes my top 12 in not only for The Amazing World of Gumball, but top 12 like emotional episodes.
What?
Yeah, in terms of like
Yes.
Yeah, so
God, Adam.
You there? You there, Scrooge? You sounded distant for a moment. I'm excited, Media Detective. I mean, like, I kind of knew that Evil Morty was going to come back. I'm not sure what to think because, like, Evil Morty is like we're calling him evil throughout the entire thing, and I think we're supposed to get the idea that him being elected the president of the Citadel is ultimately going to be a bad thing. But at the same time, given this idea of Rick and Morty of like nothing really mattering, and given the actions of Evil Morty in that actual episode, I'm actually kind of wondering if we're going to have a few questions about the morality of the main characters and the morality of Evil Morty, because Evil Morty might actually not be that bad. That might just be me, but that's what I got out of it, because there were plenty of pet the dog moments for Evil Morty in that episode. Anyone else see that?
Pet the dog. I haven't heard that expression.
Huh?
Not familiar with that expression either.
What expression? Did I say an expression?
Pet the dog moments.
Oh, pet TV tropes. TV tropes. Yeah, I'm speaking in tropes. I need to stop doing that because not everybody reads TV tropes. When I say pet the dog, I mean there's a few moments in there where President Evil Morty seems to have genuinely good intentions. Seems to be seems to be something of an actual good leader. In a lot of respects. Petting the dog sounds dirty.
Oh yeah, an evil overlord.
Adam!
Oh yeah, even an evil overlord can guarantee strength and security to their citizens, but at the end of the day, they're still evil.
Oh yeah, I'm going to keep talking. Oh yeah, Media Detective. I'm going to keep calling him Evil Morty just because I need to like call him that in order to like differentiate him from the regular Morty. Also, Tech Zero, petting the dog sounds dirty. Well, I mean, it sounded dirty when Undertale did that, so
Or South Park. The Red Rocket episode.
Oh my god, why?
I haven't actually seen that, but I can imagine just based on that title. Dear God.
Just stop. Stop. Getting back to the whole Evil Morty thing. Who knows? There's still a lot we don't know about him. I'm just surprised they even brought said character back and set up doing something with him.
You were surprised?
Bastards.
I'm surprised it took him so long to come back to the whole Evil Morty thing. Considering,
you're surprised?
Isn't it a popular thing to say every other fan theory comes back to Evil Morty? Every fan theory has something to do with Evil Morty.
Evil Morty! It's a conspiracy.
Oh dear, did you guys... Okay, you're back. You guys like cut out for like a very, very brief moment. Yeah, well, pal, the last episode is tonight, and I'm going to probably watch that first thing in the morning tomorrow, actually.
I plan on watching Star Trek.
Yeah,
that's still some Star Trek. Star Trek is something I still kind of need to catch up on. One of my friends showed me a few episodes, and I'm into it. I like the show. I just need to watch more of it. But like, there's also like a very, very long list of shows that I need to watch, but I don't. So who knows when that will happen.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, the specific episode they brought up was the Trouble with Tribbles. That famous episode, which was great. Well, I wouldn't know, Will. If Picard is better. I haven't seen that series yet. I'm still watching the original one.
I don't really have any other comments about Evil Morty other than let's just wait and see what they plan on doing with them. My guess is they might entertain some idea of gray morality, considering none of the main characters are really all that likable. They're all assholes in their own right. I guess the big question is, how much worse is Evil Morty? It actually would be a lot more interesting if, as you mentioned earlier in Enlightened Robot, he actually had a grain of hope to him. Like, he was actually doing something half decent. Like, he's doing a bunch of crap, possibly on par, if not worse than Rick. But in between all this evil stuff he's doing, it's actually beneficial to several people. He's actually improved several people's lives. That'd definitely be an interesting twist, or interesting idea to play with.
I mean, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the show were to go down that route, especially since they went out of their way to show that Rick is in fact a terrible person. Speaking of Rick and Morty and terrible people, you think we can go into a little bit of a meta commentary here about another situation going on with the Rick and Morty fandom, namely the Real Rick's Facebook group?
What?
No idea.
You haven't heard of any of the things there with the Real Ricks on Facebook? I think they've I think the group has disbanded, but you want to know about it?
Okay.
I'm going to go bring it up on Tumblr so I can actually just go ahead and quote it because, oh my god, it's so stupid. It's a whole bunch of long story short, it's a whole bunch of elitist people who are taking a lot of Rick and Morty not only too seriously but very literally as well. Like, Rick is supposed to be the good guy, and they're kind of sort of coming across as
Oh, is this what spawned that whole ridiculous copy pasta that's been making the rounds on the internet? Where
yes,
you're too stupid to correctly interpret Rick and Morty. Their jokes are on par with the theoretical physicists. You have to have a deep understanding of that to get the show.
yeah, there was, they had a character named Noob clean up Rick's diarrhea in one episode. It's a good show. It's not going over the heads of other people, I guess is the best way of putting it. So if I could, okay, I brought the post up. I think the group has since disbanded because I was looking for them and I was kind of sort of trying to infiltrate them because I was going to write a editorial on the subject. But I think they've disbanded.
Voice. I'm in.
Yeah. I actually ended up joining up another group called The Real Ricks, but it's a parody group of the original The Real Ricks, and it's just nothing but shitpost. And like one of them was just straight up just that copy pasta that you were talking about earlier, Scrooge. It was just that copy pasta, and then it was followed with a Rick Morty picture, like a Rick X Morty picture.
Oh God.
So here's the actual post. Here's like the rules of the the Real Ricks group. Sup, fellow Ricks? Admin Rick here. I just wanted to get some ground rules. No SJW trash. Us Ricks value free speech, and we don't let anything offend us. No posting about SJW stuff. Anti-racism, gender equality, accepting transgendered people. There are more than 2 genders, etc. 2. Only intellectual posts is tolerated. People with the intelligence of Rick do not concern themselves with petty issues. 3. Incels.
And then they just violated it.
Incels, MRAs, and outright are welcome here. 4. I reserve the right to remove any members I deem problematic to our group at my discretion, not desertion. So yeah, we have some real Rick and Morty fans here. I can tell you that.
This has to be a group of shit posters. There is no way that.
That's what I hope. I hope that this was all just a big joke, and I think like I said, I think the group has disbanded because I haven't been able to find them on Facebook, which is a shame because I was really hoping on like writing an editorial. I'm still going to write that editorial, by the way, but I was going to. But they had so many. But in theory, there would be so many good examples of just like complete trash coming from these people. There are so many good examples I could just, use and examine, because I think what it comes down to and why we're getting so many people who kind of have this personality type, this very elitist personality type, and why they're relating to Rick.
Oh, God.
Rick. Okay, the show makes it clear that Rick is not someone you're supposed to be, what's the word? You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to relate to, idolize him, or
he's an asshole. He's a psychopath. He's so many types of wrong, but he's also kind of sort of a play on that type of escapist fantasy of someone who just does whatever the heck he wants. Without caring about what other people do. In a lot of ways, Rick and Morty is kind of becoming the same thing that Fight Club has become, in that there are a lot of people out there who are misinterpreting the idea behind the movie and taking it to mean that the best way to go about life is to literally not give any fucks and to cause misery to everyone around you. It's really stupid, and oh dear. And like I said, I tried infiltrating this group to see just to see how bad they were, but that didn't really work out because I think the group has since disbanded. There are so many people who called out the real Rick, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually what happened with them. Oh, hey, a link. I bet you.
That's not.
There's a link on Tumblr. Hopefully, this is the right one because I was having trouble finding it. So maybe a little bit too hard to add on to that, I suppose.
People are weird.
No one admits to relating to Morty or Jerry, says Pierce Sammons. See, and that's the funny thing, because if there's any character who's the viewpoint character of the series, the person who we are supposed to relate to, it's Morty. Or at least that's what I think. And does anyone else see that?
Yeah, but Morty's got his flaws. He's whiny. He is a person, per se, whilst Rick is essentially, for all intents and purposes, technically a Mary Sue, except instead of everyone loves this character, make it everyone who actually knows this character hates this character. And I mean, yeah, they've got reasons to do so, but the fans almost all love Rick. And so that's the everyone loves the Mary Sue thing for Rick, because Rick can pretty much do no wrong, and even when he does wrong, a lot of the fans just excuse it as, well, Rick's always right. He's a super genius. It all works out in the end.
It's interesting that you describe Rick using that particular trope.
The Mary Sue.
Well,
I mean, I suppose the like Mary Sue as a word is being I'd say he almost borders on like an intentional Mary Sue, if that's the case, because it's definitely like it's definitely something that they're going for. It's not a it's not a accidental thing. This was completely and absolutely on purpose. In terms of
in regards to In regards to using that particular term, I watched a video the other day where somebody defined Mary Sue in a way that, yeah, I'd say that's the best way to describe it. It's a character where the entire universe and every element of the story bends over backwards to focus on or highlight that particular character. So, using that particular frame of reference or setup, there are some cases where, yes, you could say that Rick borrows from that particular trope, or they set it up intentionally in that kind of respect.
Yeah, this season has, however, gone out of its way to call out Rick on multiple occasions. In particular, I think the Vindicators episode is a good example of that. So it's almost it's almost like it's playing with this idea of it's almost like this idea of it's playing with this Mary Sue type character and showing how acting like this can kind of make other people hate you.
It's just one of those sad things because characters like uh, Han Solo, Batman, Rick Sanchez, these characters can be Mary Sue's, yet they're absolutely loved and can do absolutely no wrong. But then a female character does the same exact things, and then everyone's just like, oh, she's a Mary Sue. Hate her. Burn her.
Yeah, dear God, I've seen that. I've seen that term randomly thrown onto both Rey from Star Wars and what's her name? Judy Hopps from Zootopia.
Now that's a weird one to assign that term to.
Yeah,
why Judy Hopps?
That's odd. I guess a lot of people just assign it to any main female character.
Because I guess there are just some people out there who think that any female character in the main role is automatically a Mary Sue, and especially with the case of Judy Hopps. Judy Hopps is not a Mary Sue. She's actually a pretty well-rounded and well-developed character. I
mean, considering that Nick was the original main character until they decided to rewrite the movie as Judy being the main character. But that was later found out after the movie came out.
Oh, the cartoon critic who says Rick can do no wrong. The characters in the show believe that Rick can do wrong. Rick himself does not believe he can do wrong, and there are certain fans of the show, namely people in the Facebook group, The Real Ricks, who seem to think that Rick can do no wrong. Oh, what do you guys think of the alternative term Gary Stu for male characters? Because that's being...
I use it, but Mary Sue's more identifiable.
Gary Stu is just a male equivalent of a Mary Sue.
Yeah, I use Gary Stu every once in a while, but Mary Sue is just rolls off the tongue. It's easily more identifiable.
Yeah, I feel like you only know people only know Gary Stu if they've heard Mary Sue before. So that's usually why whenever I talk about subjects like this, I usually just go straight for the Mary Sue a word, and I use that. It wasn't originally a gender neutral term, but it might as well be in my mind. But that's just me. I feel like there's no real reason. It's just a
it's like the word dude. It's gender neutral now.
Yeah.
Somebody brought up my favorite Mary Sue to bash in the comments section.
Who?
Oh God, don't get me started on Sword Art Online. I'm not going to rant about that here.
Oh, Sword Art. I've seen one episode of that ever, and it's not something I particularly care for.
I've only ever seen the first episode of the abridged series, but that was because a friend of mine was showing me it after we watched all of Hellsing abridged.
Oh, the abridged series is fantastic.
It's not. I know nothing about the abridged series, and Sword Art Online doesn't appeal to me particularly much. But like I said, that's probably just me. There are plenty of other people who seem to like it well enough.
I do want to take an aside to shill for the Sword Art Online abridged series here. It is one of the best written abridged series I've come across. They do a fantastic job setting up over the top characters, and the sad thing is they do a better job of making an engaging, exciting story with a parody of the series than the actual series itself. Granted, you don't really have to go to much extreme lengths and bounds to do so, but they do a pretty good job setting up characters and making a fairly craptastic story compelling. Plus, it's ridiculously funny. The casting choices they made, everybody who acts and such in that particular production do a pretty good job. It's just a solid abridged series overall. I'd say it's second to Team 4 Star's Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot. This team, they definitely put in the time, energy, and effort to produce something fairly high quality.
Yeah, a good parody is hard to do, and especially whenever it's a good parody, or even a good parody of a good show. You know, like the Dragon Ball Z abridged and the Yu-Gi-Oh abridged. So it's just funny to see what those people do. But I throw Code Mint 50% off and None Piece onto that pile of good parody series.
I mean, the cartoon critic says, when people say a certain character is a Mary Sue, are the same people who don't know how to critique a character. I'll give you this, cartoon critic. I think there are people who throw the word Mary Sue around as a end-all be-all part of critique. Like they'll just immediately label a character a Mary Sue, and that'll be the end of it. I do think Mary Sue is still a useful term in critique when a character genuinely falls into a category like that. I wish I had examples, but I can't think of any examples.
Yep. I'm trying to think of a good joke.
Examples of legitimate Mary Sues.
Yeah, characters who would legitimately be called a Mary Sue. Oh, Robert Langdon from the Da Vinci Code, if you ever read those books. Yeah, full Mary Sue going on there. The guy's
Why is he a Mary Sue?
The guy's Indiana Jones without any of the flaws. There's a lot of problems with the Da Vinci Code. And see, I've read the Da Vinci Code, and I actually do kind of enjoy it, but I'm still going to say this. The writing for Robert Langdon, the main character, he is an author of self-insert fantasy, and there's nothing wrong with fantasy incorporating your own fantasies into the world. But this guy has very, very few actual flaws. That his biggest flaw is that he's he's claustrophobic, and I'll give him that. That's an attempt. But for most of the book, books, he's pretty he's pretty much always the smartest person in the room. And it's really kind of annoying because he's constantly being paired off with female love interests who clearly come from an educated background, who should theoretically know more than him, but he still ends up talking to them over them, as if he is as if he's the person who knows absolutely everything about everything. So that's someone who I would genuinely call a Mary Sue character.
Well, there's a character that could technically be called a Mary Sue. Like, have you ever played any of the Phoenix Wright or the Professor Layton games?
No. Go explain it to me anyways, because I heard a lot about that stuff. It'd be interesting to learn about this.
Well, Professor Layton was created because the person who created Professor Layton played the Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright games and wanted to create a better Phoenix Wright, like basically Phoenix Wright without the flaws. And
no.
and not to say that that's a bad thing, because Professor Layton is still a good person, and and the reason why he's such a nice person and people tend to be friendly around him is because he's a gentleman and he presents himself as such. However, he does have his enemies, and I love both the Phoenix Wright games and Professor Layton games. Personally, I'm looking for I'm looking for the fourth game, so that way I can, because I've got number 5 and 6. I just need the fourth one, and I can start playing the prequels trilogy because I'm already done with the original trilogy, and then I'm waiting on the Apollo Justice trilogy, or the Apollo Justice games on the Virtual Console for me to continue with the Phoenix Wright games after the first trilogy. But still, but Professor Layton and Phoenix Wright are an example of how to properly make a Mary Sue out of another character and yet still have it work. And I would highly recommend, and like if you love puzzle games, I would highly recommend for the Professor Layton series. And if you like visual novel drama mysteries that are also comedic, go for Phoenix Wright.
In regards to this particular trope term or what to use to set it up, I'm half tempted to say that there's some subjectivity to it.
Oh yeah, a lot.
It seems to vary pretty dramatically between persons.
Well, hell, I mean, a good parody of the Mary Sue trope basically could be Kaz Khan from Neo Yokio.
Okay. Please continue.
Because everyone loves him, and even his enemies love him, like Archangelo. Like, yeah, Archangelo with the Bachelor board up, it despises Kaz, but when the Bachelor board's down, it's like, come on, man, tell me I'm your homie. I'm your homie, Kaz.
I've only seen up to episode 3 of Neo Yokio so far. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but definitely have a lot to look forward to now.
I finished it. I finished it last night. It was funny. But yeah, even Helena St. Tessero still likes Kaz, even though she despises everything that he represents. And
hey guys, I'll be right back.
Yeah, and Kaz's really only main flaw is the fact that he's depressed because his girlfriend left him, which that's understandable of a flaw. He cares more about fashion and being in vogue than actually doing his job. But once again, he's young and impetuous, so that's a natural thing. Basically.
The best description I've seen for Kaz is that he's a parody of Jaden Smith. I can see it. And the fact that he's voiced by Jaden, I love that. I can't describe how much I love this show. It sits somewhere between strangely insightful and entertainingly bad to watch. It's just so hard to pin down an exact description for this. Personally, I want to describe it as a crafterpiece.
I just love the fact that the stocks for Toblerone rose after the show came out.
Oh my god, that is great! I'm so happy to hear this. If shows are determined to make extended advertisements, please make more strangely entertaining crap like Neo Yokio, please.
I was talking to one of my friends yesterday because we tend to watch Steven Universe and Star Versus together, and I was trying to tell her about Neo Yokio and just how funny some of the dialogue is. Like, come on, we're gonna teach these old money fuck boys a lesson. Or like the whole thing with the Toblerone, it's like, you don't deserve the big Toblerone.
One of the best scenes is when Helena comes in to stop a demon possession, and she smacks the gals with this giant Toblerone candy bar. And then the second episode, just to explain how all over the place the writing for the show can get. So
I'm gonna bring up my conversation.
It starts out with the lead character. I'm just going to call him Diet Jaden because that's funnier to me than Jaden
Pink.
Okay, I'll just call him Kaz. So Kaz is freaking out because he has a midnight blue tux rather than a black tuxedo for the black and white ball, and instead he has to work on the ball but he also has love problems. The gal he plans on going with is having an existential crisis about whether or not she's going to continue being a fashion blogger. And then there's this pop starlet with this hilariously over-the-top southern drawl that makes a move on him. He's caught between which one is he going to take?
Here it is.
And then it turns out that the demon he's supposed to exorcise from the black and white ball is his date, the pop starlet. And this isn't built up at all. It comes completely out of left field. It just kind of happens.
I love the scene when they're in the painting and he's trying to hide. I can still see you, bitch.
Yes.
You're wearing a black tux against a midnight blue sky. Archangelo.
I love the dialogue for the show. It's so bad. And then you get fantastic lines and scenes like that. Whoever did the voice for Sailor, the pop starlet, she was fantastic.
I'm from North Kakalaka. Here it is. Here's how I described the show to a friend of mine. Rich boy psychic demon hunter with a robot butler, and the script reads like a shit post.
Yes! That is a much better description than what I originally pinned it as. I originally pinned it as magic rich people problems, the anime.
I just love that he's got a robot butler.
It's so out of left field. I love it.
I'm going to the grave. Of course, sir. It's a lovely headstone you've picked for yourself, sir.
Just for some context here, the scene that SR is referencing, Kaz Khan goes to visit a grave, and you think it's for a dead relative or something like that. No, he made his own gravestone. He puts flowers on his own gravestone. It even lies there for a couple of minutes.
It's like that scene in SpongeBob where Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob are trying to bury that one health inspector, and Squidward's at the graveyard, and he puts flowers at a grave, and then they look at what it says, and it says, "Here lies Squidward's hopes and dreams."
For people who are completely lost as to what the hell we're talking about, Neo Yokio is a new original Netflix anime that they have plastered all over their front page. So, if any of what we're saying sounds appealing, look this show up. It's freaking fantastic. It's a fantastic mess.
Will Powell, is there a tournament arc? It's 6 episodes, so no. No, it's not. There's not, but it's hilarious. It's like a parody of early 2000s anime dubs.
In regards to some of the other comments and stuff, this anime was made for English. It's one of those cases where this was written by and for English speakers. I'm actually kind of curious as to how this would be received by a Japanese audience. I hope we get to see that.
I love that tailor at the tuxedo place. Like, it's Kaz Cole. Like, he's voiced by that one guy from the IT crowd, and it's just like, I love sports.
Yes. I that he was voiced by the same guy, by that.
At least I think he is. He sounds like him. Hell, Steve Buscemi plays a character in the last 2 episodes, and he has a line that's like, "Good thing I brought my vape." Steve Buscemi saying that.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's something to look forward to.
I actually watched a scene from that last episode while I was watching a review of it. I can't wait to see that scene in context. The whole thing where he opens the window and Helena's standing on the outside on the outer trim of this 6-foot-story building. He pulls his vape, the smoke goes over there, she coughs, and then he shuts.
Yeah, exactly. That's the scene. Good thing I brought my vape.
Oh my god. This is so much funnier in context. Just watch the show rather than hearing us babble about it and laugh.
And considering the fact that I'm trying not to spoil anything. I mean, granted, what's there to spoil, but still. I don't want to spoil too many jokes.
I'll say this. I'm looking at the TV Tropes page. I have not seen this show yet, but I'm looking at the TV Tropes page right now. This thing sounds insane.
It is insane.
And like,
I just love that joke whenever, like, with the pop star and like Kaz is looking over with the binoculars and it's like, yo man, yo Kaz, he's macking on your girl. I know that, and he looks and he sees Archangelo like giving him the peace signs. Like, fuck this.
Considering the,
I love his friends.
Yes, they're a fantastic description of older white guys trying to write dialogue for cool kids. I'm gonna be kind of mean here. The dialogue written for these characters is a little bit more accurate to what a real teenager would sound like than some of the awkward dialogue from Life is Strange. But then again, it's written to be awkward and horrible.
It's like Media Detective. Is it intentionally funny or unintentionally funny? I'm gonna give it a little column A, a little column B.
Yeah, it kind of varies. It's not sure what it wants to be. There's some scenes where you think it's trying to take itself seriously and it's head scratching. Others, it's self-aware that it's bad. It's really hard to describe. It's
like the principal at that prep school. Like a lot of it, like he's swearing and stuff. There was one expression he said that I need to go back and rewatch it and write it down because I just loved that expression. I just can't remember what it was.
Damn it. I don't really remember either. I need to watch the episode again. Actually, I don't need an excuse to watch the episode again. I'm just going to because it's freaking hilarious.
All I know is that I won't see a Toblerone the same again. Oh, and the fact that the fact that you can order Toblerones that big.
I'm going to look up how much a big Toblerone is right now, just for grins.
Halloween's coming up. I swear, if I don't see a CazCon with a big Toblerone cosplay for Halloween, I will be very disappointed.
Oh, there's going to be several. I'll bet that's going to be the top Halloween costume.
Comes with its own candy.
I mean, if Pennywise doesn't drown him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, there'll probably be a number of Pennywises.
Toblerone Jumbo, 4.5 kilograms, 80 centimeters. It is $124.20 on Amazon. So you'd have to be pretty damn dedicated to that cosplay if you're hell-bent on
I mean, considering you also need a tuxedo.
Yes, and it has to be midnight blue.
Oh yeah, if you're Archangelo.
No, it could be Midnight Blue for Kaz Khan too. He wore that for most of the episode.
And I love that everyone is pointing it out because, like, it's like,
Yes.
do you think people will notice? It's like, nah, man, nah, they probably won't notice. And even a cab driver points it out. It's like, really? It's like, really, Midnight Blue? Midnight Blue? It's like, would you? Oh, that's it. Kaz was asking him. It's like, would you? It's like, Cabby, would you wear a Midnight Blue tux to a black and white ball? Well, I'm just a normal cabbie, but I wouldn't. I'm just a cat. The cabbie and the fisherman are probably one of my favorite, like, one-line characters. The fisherman is in episode 5, and he is hilarious. And I don't want to say anymore.
Giant Toblerone bar.
I can't remember whenever. I can't remember what episode it was. Whenever Kaz's friends made that one drink.
No, yes, I think that's episode 3.
And the fact that they kept that up, it's still around. Even in episode 6, they still have that bar.
That's great.
Oh, Hampton's water magic. I'm looking at the episode list.
Another topic I kind of wanted to bring up and discuss, just the video game Cuphead came out yesterday. That's the game with the 1930s style and aesthetic to it. And they really committed to recreating the 1930s aesthetic, not just in animation, but with some of the video syncing effects and even some of the voice acting or some of the voices. They sound echoey and distorted.
Yeah, it's yet another game that I'm going to be vehemently looking up and never actually get around to playing.
I didn't even know it came out. It was one of those games that kept getting delayed that I was just like, it'll come out when it comes out.
Well, it came out yesterday, so something new to look up.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it because that is a the one thing about this game is it genuinely it's genuinely going for something I am it's generally something that is trying to appeal to people like me. I'm really big into like watching all those old cartoons. I watch a lot of old Fleischer cartoons and Fleischer, however you're supposed to pronounce them. Fleischer. And I really kind of want to see where this is going, and I'm surprised about how accurate it looks like a old cartoon just based off the gameplay footage. It's amazing how much they got from it. And see, even the tutorial which I saw on the tutorial which takes place on like a like on a piece of paper that's on a live action set, that's actually not too different than something you'd see in Out of the Inkwell, where you have an animated Coco the Clown interacting with some live action characters, usually the animator himself. So when you have the live action piece of paper on the background, you have Cuphead going along on that piece of paper on that live action background. That's actually something you'd see in like an old Fleischer cartoon. Thought that was a really cool detail. I still need to look more into it, and I'm not sure if I'll play it. I'll try to play it now that I've actually told everybody that I do actually know about this game, but who knows? Yeah. I'm not much of a gamer.
Yeah,
I'm going to take a crack at it, but I know I'm going to fail horribly. The only game I've played within the past year or so, Undertale.
Same.
Yeah, I got a couple of games to beat. I still got to beat Broken Age, Limbo, Darkest Dungeon, Gone Home, Transistor, Overwatch. Why are you consuming my gaming soul?
Yeah, and I have a friend who's trying to get me to play that Homestuck game. What's it called? I forgot what it's called. Hive Swap. Yeah, Hive Swap. The art's pretty. I don't know much about it.
I can't help you there, bud. Homestuck is a complete enigma to me.
It's like I know of it, I just don't know about it. I never cared to actually look it up.
Well, I mean, I know Mike Rignetta of Idea Channel, which, by the way, rest in peace, Idea Channel. That YouTube show has just recently ended. But Mike Rignetta of Idea Channel, he compared it to he said that it's the internet's modern version of Atlas Shrugged, and that it is either Atlas Shrugged or War and Peace. I can't remember. And the thing is, it's so long that there is kind of a if you're reading it and you manage to somehow go through all of the complicated, enigmatic storylines, if you manage to reach the end, it feels like you've just like won a game or something, because it is impossible to do that. I've been on the Homestuck website like once ever in my life, where I read through like one of the comics, and it was interesting. There's a sense of humor that I kind of like with it, but I'm not really sure where it's going. And because it was so long, I kind of gave up. And keep in mind, I was like really early when it came. I like left really early on in whatever this comic I was reading was, because I never even like played any of the the Flash games that are apparently a big part of it. Who knows? I know plenty of people who are like bigger Homestuck fans than I am.
I have zero context for anything that does this. I went to the website once, had weird, kind of stubbly looking kid that looked like a Funko Pop, for lack of a better way to describe it. Kind of clicked through a few panels, couldn't figure out what was going on. I just gave up. Haven't been back since.
Yeah, and don't come to me. Don't expect me to know anything about like about Homestuck or anything like that. I only know it through like a few friends of mine.
Yeah, there's a couple of people on Tumblr I follow who do fan art every once in a while. I'm just like, all right.
Yeah, I might check out that game though, just so I can talk about with that friend who recommended it to me, because I like talking about fandom stuff.
In regards to Cuphead, I watched somebody play through it. I definitely plan on playing through it myself. In regards to the gameplay overall, it's been described as really painfully difficult. But from what I could see, it's not quite as bad as what people were describing it. Just for the record, the person I was playing seemed to be fairly competent in regards to games and stuff in general, like somebody who knows how to use a controller and has played several different games over their lifetime and such. They failed or had to repeat several levels over and over again. But if you pay attention to what certain bosses are doing or what certain patterns some of the bosses have, or even some of the other parts in the game are going for, you'll get to a point where you can get through the battles in under 2 to 3 minutes. That seems to be the max runtime for once you have the patterns that the game goes for. The battle is supposed to last for 2 to 3 minutes once you have the rhythm down.
Well, it
Adam,
looks like
yep,
that.
that's how I've seen it described. Contra with a 1930s aesthetic.
Yeah, I'm just here for the 1930s aesthetic. I know nothing about Contra. I know nothing about Dark Souls too.
The Dark Souls comparisons.
I saw a couple of reviews for Cuphead, and one of the reviews said nowhere near as brutal as Dark Souls. Just for the record here, I only have so much context. I'm just paraphrasing reviews and such I've read through. And watching somebody else actually play the game. I'm going to say this much, if I actually took a crack at playing it myself, I'd be stuck on the same level for several hours before getting through it. When I tried to play through Undertale, I got stuck at Undyne for close to a freaking hour before I grinded to get the freaking Temi armor. So, when it comes to video games...
Temi armor? Yeah. Wait, is that a thing?
What? Yeah, it's really expensive to the point where I was just like, you know what? I've only died once so far. I'm not gonna... I mean, when I played Undertale, I got like true pacifist. I only died twice through the entirety of the thing. And the reason why it took me so long is because I tried to get the Temi armor, and I was just like, you know what? Screw it. I don't need it.
Dear God. See, dear God, I went through the Undyne battle. That was brutal.
I died during the chase. Yeah, I died during the chase, but not during the actual battle. The battle was easy.
So many times during that. And what does the Temi armor do?
It just reduces a whole bunch of damage that you take, and it heals you periodically throughout battle.
Pretty much. That's why I wasted my time grinding to get it. I was like, after failing so much at the Undyne part, I can use this. I just want to play through the rest of the game and enjoy where the story goes. I just want to get through the game. I don't want to spend 20, 30 minutes just trying to get past some parts. So that since this is here, I'm going to get it. Probably going to do the same for Cuphead if certain things pop up. Like, I noticed one of the available items you can get is an extra hit point. I am going to use the crap out of that. Granted, most of the add-ons and such that you can get, they're better suited for facing off against specific bosses. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing, unfortunately. You really gotta watch what the boss does and sort of compare and contrast which thing would be better for what fight versus another thing.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm pretty decent at those bullet hell type games. I mean, hell, I was just top of the leaderboard on an old computer bullet hell game a long time ago, back during the early 2000s.
I can't wait to get this game, attempt to do a stream on it, and then absolutely, completely, and utterly fail on the first level. Because that is what's going to happen with me. I suck at video games.
Oh, I would not strain myself playing this. Because I know everybody in the comments would be like, you suck at this! Do this! And just... If someone's going to be a streamer, you have to be at least somewhat competent at playing the game, because otherwise you're going to spend hours on the same level.
In that case, I probably won't stream it then. Yeah,
no, I mean, I was just talking about being a Let's Player or streamer in general. Most people who do it, they have some competency level with video games. Like, they can get through the game in a reasonable amount of time. It's entertaining to watch them play it, for lack of a better description. I would not be a Let's Player with games that required some modicum of skill or actual competency with the controller.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start a new Let's Play channel. My first video is going to be Orly's Draw Story. I'm kidding. Don't take that seriously. Oh, shoot.
Okay, yeah. Adam, to be fair, yeah, I've played Jamestown before. I suppose that counts as a bullet hell kind of game. I'm terrible at that. I'm the one, if there's a group of people playing, I'm the one who ends up dying 16 times. Every single time. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah, I'm terrible at video games. I'm one of those people that I'm still trying to learn just how to use the freaking controller without looking down at it every 5 minutes saying, what's this button do again? even though I learned what said button does about a minute ago, it's gonna take me 16 times to get what that button does. I'm that bad. I don't have a second sense for just picking up the controller and feeling comfortable with using it. Like pretty much
mostly,
everybody else seems to.
It's mostly just hand-eye coordination. At least that's how I explained it a long time ago.
No, Adam, we're not doing that. Just for playback purposes, my boyfriend left this obnoxious comment in the comments section. Idea for an R.Scrooge Let's Play, a Rocky-style show where I coach her in a ridiculous way to play a game. Just, no.
Come on, kid.
No,
you're going to be great. You're going to be a contender.
Oh my god, no.
Well, hell, I taught 2 kids how to play Smash Brothers, and they got pretty good at it, so it's nothing to knock at.
I mean, I'm a moderately decent Rob main. Moderately decent. I actually kind of. I've only played against my brothers.
In what game?
My Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go with Toon Link.
Toon Link.
Both Brawl and Smash 4.
Yeah. I mean, I've flipped around between a few characters. I'm also like pretty decent with Mr. Game & Watch. I used to be really good with Wario, but now I seem to suck with him for whatever reason. Like I just inexplicably started sucking when I play as Wario. And then when I used to play Super Smash Bros. Melee, however you want to pronounce it, I was pretty much Kirby all the time, and I annoyed other players by constantly turning into a rock. Yes, I'm that type of player.
Ugh. I was trying to teach my brother's friend how to play. He chose Kirby, and all he learned to do, and all he ever did was the down B thing. He'd float all the way up to the top of the screen, down B, and even after punishing him multiple times, like I would bait him into doing the down B. He'd go, and just before, sidestep, grab, hit, throw off. He just kept going like, no, I like doing this. I'm just like, all right, whatever. I don't know. I'm a pretty patient teacher when it comes to these things.
So
I haven't fought him in a while.
So I suppose if I can like change the subject from gaming, because if we can talk about gaming, I'm just going to be going off on how bad I am at video games.
Hey, I was talking about how bad I'm at it too, so you're not alone, man.
True. It's October now. Halloween is coming up. Any plans? Any plans for you guys? Plans to do anything?
It's on a Tuesday, so work.
Oh shoot! It is.
Shit! Halloween's on a Tuesday this year. That's fantastic. I'm gonna have to work too.
I'm going to be working with I'm going to be working with the rest of my family with a haunted house project, and there's one specific on a haunted house project, and they want me to do film someone like coming out of a TV, and that's going to be exciting. The other thing I'm going to be doing is I have a Halloween album that I'm going to be releasing within the next few weeks. So
I'm just doing Inktober, so
that's about it for me. I need to do Inktober. That's fun. I haven't done Inktober, but I should.
It's completely off topic, but couple of weeks, the OKKO crossover with Captain Planet is coming out. I am so ridiculously excited about this episode. Yes!
The power is yours, Captain Planet. He's a hero, gonna take pollution down to 0.
Yeah,
I saw
Captain.
from it. Oh, sorry.
I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm excited for that. Wow, Captain Planet is actually crossing over with OKKO of all the shows.
Yes.
But that's the beauty of it. Of course, it's going to be Captain Planet. That's.
I mean, could you see Steven Universe crossing over with Captain Planet?
No. Or
Well,
maybe
like,
if they took a similar direction with what they did with the Uncle Grandpa crossover.
Yeah, with it being not canon. Or imagine even regular show crossed over with... Just imagining Captain Planet crossing over with regular show.
I am just ridiculously excited about this episode because they went full-blown camp for it. I saw a clip from it. The way they pass out the power rings and squeeze in the main characters to team up with Kwame, I think his name is, to summon Captain Planet. It's just great. It's freaking great. In regards to the whole OKKO and canon thing, is there much basis for what's canon and what isn't? It comes across as more of a self-contained episodic kind of show. There's a little bit of promise for an overarching plot eventually with characters like Professor Venomous and the mysterious guy that made TKO, but
shadowy figure. Yeah, there's continuity. It's just for right now there's loose continuity.
I mean, we had one episode where the characters turned into furries and they never really turned back, so...
Yeah.
No, I have it. From now on, from this point forward, every episode of OKKO, they're actually just furries wearing the human suits, but they've upgraded to just human suits that actually look decent. And from now on, that is my personal headcanon. That is what they're going to be doing. They're still furries. They're just furries in really good human suits.
And then taking into consideration that there are some moments where it seems as though a long time has passed at the end. Like, for instance, the ending of the episode, We've Got Pests, and the episode... Where are you? Oh, A Hero's Fate, where the ending of both of those episodes has a character... Obvious, like, it shows you what happened to those characters, and obviously a lot of time has passed. So it's like, so are we never going to see these characters interact with KO and the crew ever again?
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, because A Hero's Fate has that, like, Cloud parody.
Before this OKKO special comes on, before this crossover comes on, I know we had like the Punch Time Explosion, and I also know like Adult Swim has done things like Space Ghost, Space Ghost and Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. Has there ever been like one of those Cartoon Network self parodies of Captain Planet specifically?
Not unless you count all the Robot Chicken skits.
Well, yeah, there's Robot Chicken skits, but I don't really count those. Oh, Captain Planet is like the perfect show for that. And I don't think if you're a fan of Captain Planet, I don't think anyone's going to complain if there's like a ironic self-parody of it. It's not exactly holy ground, and most of the people who still like Captain Planet are liking it because of how campy it was.
No.
It's pretty much the same case with people who ironically enjoy old Scooby-Doo episodes.
They've got their moments, but they're still
yes.
Yeah, but they're still fun to like riff on.
They're fun to riff on. I follow Scooby-Doo mistakes on Tumblr, but even then, there's still. I do think there is genuinely something there, just to the appeal of the Scooby-Doo formula and why it became so popular.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like claim that they're like masterpieces of animation necessarily, but they managed to come up with a formula that was
Successful.
with a very memorable formula with funny characters who we all like. It's on certain later series have become really good, intentionally really good too. The
Mystery
ones that
Incorporated,
yeah, Mystery Incorporated. Some of the animated Scooby Doo movies. The Witch's Ghost was good.
Zombie Island.
Yeah, Zombie Island was really good. And
Yes.
and then going in the opposite direction, something that's just really funny and intentionally funny. So I'd say a pup named Scooby Doo.
I'm looking at the OKKO episodes coming up. One of the next episodes is called Rad Likes Robots, and I swear if it doesn't have something to do with Raymond, I riot.
Oh man, yeah, like those shippers name our fodder, but yes.
It'll probably have something to do with like Shannon or Jethro, but oh man, I so hope Raymond's in the episode.
Hell yes. Raymond, the fabulous jerkwad robot.
He's basically the Archangelo of the series.
Oh my god. I need to watch more of that. You know, I'm gonna cue that up right after this podcast is over, right? Okay, considering how late it's getting, going to wrap things up. My last comment is something incredibly insubstantial. Go get yourself a big-ass Toblerone chocolate bar.
We all deserve the big Toblerone.
Okay. Good night, guys. I guess. I don't have any good jokes here, but yeah, good night.
Good night, everybody.
Aloha.